everyone, and welcome to Voices of Daytime. I'm your host, Tami Goveia, and joining me today is a four-time Emmy Award winner, co-creator, writer, and star of After Forever, the series, and Riley's Unforgettable School Project, Mr. Kevin Spirtas.
Hello, darling. How are you?
Good. And also joining is Emmy Award-winning producer of After Forever, the series, as well as director of Riley's Unforgettable School Project, Ms. Allison Vanore. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you.
Hello.
So happy that you're here.
Thank you.
The beauty of modern technology. Doesn't matter where you're at, we are here. One of the things that, before we get into Riley's truly unforgettable school project, which is extraordinary, I wanted to spend some time honoring and spotlighting Michael Slade, who is no longer with us, unfortunately. Michael was the co-creator and head writer of After Forever, the series, and also of Riley's Unforgettable School Project. We lost him last December, unfortunately, to cancer. And, Allison, I don't know if you know much of the backstory, but I met Kevin through a mutual friend of ours, Michael Mattis. And it was through that introduction that I had the privilege of meeting Michael Slade and Kevin and interviewing them several times, both in studio and on the red carpet of the Daytime Emmys. And actually wanted to play a little clip.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, from the 2019 Daytime Emmys, because it was truly a magical moment. So let's go ahead and play that special moment.
Wow, to quote Valerie Bertinelli, holy shit.
Holy shit!
Friday night was best writing, best directing, best supporting actress, best actor, and now this. Wow. And our first season. I want to thank my partner on this project, Kevin Spirtas, for your incredible tenacity in making it happen. I want to thank our amazing producer, Allison Vanore. I want to thank director.
So that was just a little clip of that moment. And I have to say, being backstage at the time with the rest of the press, oh my God, when that was announced, you guys have no idea the uproar that went off, because there were just so many people rooting for you and rooting for the show, and the buzz of After Forever. Have you seen the show? What's it about? And that was even more exciting because we got to go, oh my God, you have to see the show. It's absolutely phenomenal. But seeing that clip,
there's also a great clip of you interviewing all three of us on the red carpet, right?
Yeah.
The first night, it was the Friday night, right?
It was the Friday night.
Right.
Yeah. Was it in Pasadena? Yeah.
There's so many award shows and so many Emmys, you forget which city you're in. But
I know. Our lives, our crazy,
I will never forget
lives.
the 2019 Emmy Awards, ever. And I remember holding on to Allison right there. I was just squeezing her. We were just holding each other up on the stage. That was great. Just really great.
In taking a look at that moment, I was thinking, I'm so thankful that Michael had that experience, that everyone collectively had that experience. These are photos that Michael Mattis took, Kev.
Yeah, I know.
From that
and
year.
He mentioned to us that night. and just FYI, I'm not wearing my jacket in that shot.
I know.
You know the story?
Oh my God.
What's
You know,
the
we
story?
went backstage after we all left the stage with the award. We all went downstairs, and we went from booth to booth to booth to do interviews. And I sat on a director's chair, which has got that that little cloth bottom, and I split my pants. So I'm wearing my jacket tight. It looks like a kilt, but I'm definitely, I'm all clothed, and that was a fun.
I thought it was just a fashion statement. I thought you were just making because that's you.
No, I was so hot I had to take my jacket. No, it was I split my pants, and I just thought, yeah, Michael had that extraordinary and
so much excitement,
Yeah, right. Oh, we want. No. But what people don't know is Michael was already starting major chemo at that point. So he had flown to LA, was taking care of himself. And it's just really, he was a fighter. He was a true hero. And he just kept, he would say to Allison and I, nope, I'm not taking a break. Keep moving. Otherwise the cancer wins. This keeps me occupied. This keeps me focused. It keeps me hopeful. And it keeps me clearly able to, put the disease over on one side and keep my creative side, to help me focus. And, it was a tragedy.
Yeah. I mean, we're all, I think, so grateful that he was able to have that, that Emmy experience, and then the following year as well, Yeah, I mean, that just made it for him. He was thrilled.
Yeah. That picture is so great. Is that Mike's picture too?
Yes, it is.
Oh my God, I gotta get that picture. That's just fantastic.
It just really encapsulates his joyous nature, don't you think? His spirit. He was always such a light, and there was always such a phenomenal amount of integrity.
Yeah.
When he spoke about After Forever, the series, and I was heartbroken, as everybody was, when we heard the news, because there are just certain people who, even though you don't see, they're here, right? And their energy is here and their presence is here. And then when they physically leave.
Talk about After Forever.
Right?
Yeah.
This is kind of a beautiful segue into what would be Michael's final project, passion project. And that's Riley's Unforgettable School Project.
Yeah.
I have a million questions because, I saw the special, as you guys call it. And I honestly have to say, After Forever, the series, the content you guys have produced has been extraordinary. But there was just something about this project that it was so crystallized. The beauty of the writing, the direction, the acting, everything is just, to me, was like the creme de la creme. Like everything came together in such a beautiful synchronicity. And Allison, director of this, so you had the producer hat on for the most part before Riley's Unforgettable School Project, but you're the director for this.
Yep.
What happened?
Let me throw this in here too. I'm gonna even put another feather in her hat. So Michael, this was the last project that we all collaborated on, that Michael and I put together and wrote, and then he went off and did the script. But season 3 for After Forever is actually, that's a great shot. That's while Allison's directing Anita Gillette. But we sat down to do season 3, but we had, COVID hit, so we couldn't do the 3rd season, and it's already written. And then Allison said, you guys should come up with a way of staying current and present with COVID. And she kind of threw that at us. And that's when we came up with the idea. And then she tossed her hat in to be, hat in the ring to be a director, I said, yes, you have to do this.
Well, it was one of those things where, we were trying to talk about, could season 3 happen during COVID? And it really just wasn't, any way we cut it, it wasn't making sense. So, I had been doing a lot of, events, virtual events. I'd been talking to a lot of people who were doing remote productions, virtual productions. And I thought, you know what, if they're, technically we can figure that part out if you guys can figure out a way creatively to make that make sense, right? And so that's why we wanted to come up with something that could live in the world, showcase the characters, but not take away from any of the other seasons. You could, if you watched it, it was this added value, added bonus, right? But you don't have to watch it in order to enjoy the show. And I think you can watch this without actually knowing the show and the characters, because you get a full understanding of who these people are, right? Because we do it in this like documentary style, where all of the characters are speaking to the camera. It gave us the ability to film remotely with each character. I think it was like 13 characters, in, 3 different states and 2 countries actually. So it was really wonderful, I think, on so many levels, to be able to do this during a time when everybody was so disconnected physically and dealing with so many things, so much loss, and then to be able to kind of, celebrate the character, Jason, but then also each other and Michael at the same time.
Yeah. And Allison and I first of all, Allison and we were dealing with Michael. And then there was a lot of other loss happening around us personally, and it wasn't COVID. We lost our editor's mother. Rob Padgett lost his mother, and Allison's mother was sick at the time, and she's since passed. And it's been a cloak, this like weight of sadness and loss. And, there's nothing more confronting or haunting than creating fiction one day and the next day you're living it. And it was, and we all didn't know Michael had really started the countdown to departing until after we had finished filming. I knew he was, I told Allison, I sensed he was very tired, and I said, I wanted to go to New York and film my remote location there, because that would be, we could have found a wall. I could have, come to my brother's house or something and get a wall that would be, doubling as Jason and Brian's apartment. But we went to the place, and I really went to see Michael, and I went to be with him. And he was just physically, he was just weakened by his therapy and his medication. So I think he was ready. And one day, you keep going, you film it, you leave, you go back to LA, and then we get the call he's going to go off his meds and go into hospice. And then it's like, wait, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And he's lived through it because he told the story about, Jason dying in After Forever season 1 and 2. And that part of the story is based on his partner who had died 2 years before he and I met. So life imitating art, imitating life. I'm very grateful that I have these 2 beautiful ladies in front of me who I can acknowledge and salute every day and thank them for their goodness that you guys bring to the world. And if you don't do that every day to whoever you're with, then you've really lost the game. And I think that's what Michael really taught me.
What did it feel like to the cast collectively, to your point, Kevin, about, life imitating art? Because there's not a word to describe that experience with the show and what happened in real life. What was the effect on the cast?
Devastating.
Well, we had, I was going to say, we had this screening, after we finished the special, we did a virtual screening for the cast and crew and, our supporters. And that was it was days after Michael passed. And so that experience was, you can't even explain what that experience was like, watching a special where everybody's talking about Jason, but everybody watching it is thinking about Michael the whole time. It was, yeah.
I haven't told this to Allison yet, but I just got back from New York. I went to do a little bit of work, and I saw some friends, and I stayed with Laura Barquette, who has graciously, she's an executive producer on this series and Riley's Unforgettable School Special, but she has also donated her home. So we call it the Barquette Studios, and everything, season 1 and 2, and the kitchen that I'm in is all in, it's all in Laura's house. And Allison knows Anthony Michael Martinez, who was in season 1, and he came to have breakfast one day and late lunch, and we were talking, and we were just in the kitchen sitting there, and he looks over in the corner where Jason sits in season 1, and he goes, Michael's here. And I go, I know. It was so unbelievable. But I have to say, it was so, it was absolutely unbelievable walking into the home this time, into that house, without Michael being in the city. And I'm sure if you've experienced the lost Tami in that way, or Allison going back home now when your mom is gone, there's something you want to go over down the street, you want to explore. And the last time I was in that house was Michael was there because we were filming remotely, but the time before that he was there because we were filming season 2. All of that just layers in. And when Anthony said, I see Michael here, I said, I know, he's here. It was really...
Now, to your point, there's a shift that happens. There's a void, there's a shift. But from a viewer's perspective, to me, Riley's Unforgettable School Project is cathartic. Yeah. It's truly a cathartic piece because it's so uplifting. There's so much joy. There's so much celebration. That's where the focus is. And I'm so thankful for that from a viewer, because I've been on this journey as a viewer for the last 2 or 3 years, and I wasn't really sure what is a standalone documentary style thing. Where's season 3? Come on, we've been waiting for this. What's going on? So were you surprised by the script, by what Michael came up with?
Well, we talked about it. We didn't want to make it a memorial for Jason because we kind of touched on that in season 2. And he joked with me. He said, what if we have it be a remote, like Riley's in school remotely and he's got to do a project, and Allison and I both knew we didn't want to do a Zoom call, and we didn't want it to be, like a Zoom Brady Bunch. But I said, yeah, yeah. And he goes, you won't be the star. I said, oh, okay. He said, it's gonna be about Riley. But the way he took us and weaved together all these different stories about getting to know Jason in a new way through other people and other stories that we've never really needed to touch on or had to touch on in season 1 or 2, because it was about Brian's focus and his working it out and his dealing with the healing. But I think, and Allison will agree, that it was to continue to highlight these people's lives and their journey through loss and navigating their healing and how they can do it. And some of that's just expressing story and how to include everybody. And Allison knew the characters inside and out because she's been producing the thing forever.
Let's talk about the editor.
Yes, let's.
Can you please just elaborate on the genius, because that the pacing of the piece is phenomenal.
It's that the whole special was, the goal was to make it feel like it really was a documentary, where you go out and you film a whole bunch of footage and then you cut it together and you make this, beautifully woven story. And Michael did such a good job writing it that way, but it still, needed that touch and that, real, you know, that like the pacing you're talking about, it needed to feel that way and interwoven because everybody's apart, nobody's acting against each other, right? Everybody's separate, but we wanted it to feel like this really well, connected piece about somebody. And I think that really came through. Rob Padgett did an amazing job. It's beautifully crafted in that way.
Yeah. Yeah. And Rob's got a great eye for the visual, but he's also an actor. He's a great actor, and his appreciation for the moments and how to carry them through, wait for the laugh, don't take away. There's actually a take that there's a take. Okay, let's back this up. So we all told these stories that Riley's Unforgettable School Project is Riley asking the friends and family of Jason to answer 3 questions. What's your favorite thing about Jason? What's your least favorite thing? And what's your favorite memory? And I was like, to tell the memory story, and Michael had written it in chunks, but I said, you've got to memorize the whole thing and just tell it like it's a story, And Michael goes, they don't have to film it that way, Kevin. I go, yes, they do. I'm going to. And I did. And I'm proud of it. But there was a take that I got so overwhelmed with. I did my homework and it was real. I did leave out one line, but as Allison likes to say, it's a really good take, and she liked it. And we didn't tell Rob not to put it in, but that's the one he went for. And Rob goes, and Michael goes, I don't like that take. I said, well, you're outvoted 2-3, maybe even 3-1 because 2-1 because Rob liked it too. So I was like,
mm-hmm. And Finn.
Yeah.
Finn Douglas, what the haystack.
Man, he's amazing, right?
Yes. How did that all happen? I mean, he wrote the song.
Yeah. Yeah.
He wrote the song, he performed it. Mm-hmm. Talk us through the birthing of this concept.
I made a joke about, well, I guess there's not going to be any room for Katie Huffman, who plays Lisa Henson, to sing in this episode because there wasn't a need for her to do that. And he goes, well, let's ask Finn to. Let's ask, Riley. I went,
yeah, it's his project, right?
The kid can write a song, or dedicate a song. And I asked Michael, I said, what song should we have him sing? And that's when he said, let's have him write it.
Well, because we knew that he was interested, right? Like he's in musical theater. He loves, he plays all these sorts of instruments. He loves to sing and dance. And, his parents have mentioned that he would love to write music. His father writes music. So, we thought, give him, throw it at him. Let's see what he does.
We didn't have to use it if we didn't like it.
Yeah.
And then he took it on, and we heard the song, and I was like, this is a great song. And then we didn't we have a reading to hear the script out loud before we filmed, right, Allison? So we had a Zoom call.
We had a table read on Zoom. Mm-hmm.
And we asked Finn if he would mind singing that song like it was in real time. And we were watching everybody in their box just weeping at the beauty and the glory that this kid possessed in this talent of writing this song. He did an amazing job. I mean, and he stepped up to the plate with it. And now you think about it and you think about Michael, of course, It's a great song, Forever There.
Mm-hmm. Forever. It is beautiful. Mm-hmm. What do you think? Oh gosh, there's just so many emotions wrapped up in it. If people haven't heard it yet. And
I wanted to say, we had him sing it live with just the guitar in the special, because that's sort of real. That's mm-hmm. Hey, I wrote a song about him. He takes the guitar and he sings it to camera. So there was no lip syncing to that or anything. And then we asked him if he wanted to, we could put a little video together for him. So he went back into the studio, wrote all the parts. First of all, he plays by ear, doesn't take a lesson. He plays the drums, he plays the piano, plays the guitar. And then
he's one of those.
Yeah, he sang the harmony. So that picture we just showed of him was in the studio, and we did a little music video, and we incorporated a lot of After Forever and Riley's and School Project in there. But it's something to watch him perform, and it's something to watch him step into, because he's quite magical.
Yeah. And to have a an artist that young write lyrics like that, and something so special and heartfelt, and he's an old soul, right? I mean, he just is. He's just so smart, and we're always amazed by him.
Yeah.
Is there going to be a season 3?
Allison, is there going to be a season 3?
Yeah, well, I mean, the really great news, like Kevin said earlier, is season 3 has been written for a while. So back when we were doing season 2, we actually had for a little while planned to shoot seasons 2 and 3 back to back. Partially because Finn was getting older.
He grows so fast.
Yeah,
he's really 65, but we can't, who's cares?
Yeah. No, we actually filmed his scenes a year ago because we were concerned about that. But we decided at the last minute not to shoot season 3 at the same time. It was just too much. It was, too much going on at the time. And so we do have to.
Oh.
The actors have all, read it.
Say it again,
we had a lot kind of planned because that was the.
Say it again. Say it again. You went out for a second. Say that last part again.
Oh, I don't know what part.
We had all the actors together. We had all the actors together, and then we had to let them go.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because we already had planned a lot of it already. A lot of it's pretty much ready to go. So at this point, we're just waiting for things to open back up, everyone to get vaccinated, and then for everyone to feel comfortable and safe to go back into production. So, we're not in a huge rush because we want everyone to feel comfortable, but it'll happen soon.
Yeah. And it'll be the trilogy's finale. It's really
it was intended to be a 3-season arc.
Yeah, and I would like to jump in it sooner than later, simply because Michael's with us, and it's so fresh, and I think it would be healing for all of us to give that to Michael as a going away present.
Bon voyage.
Yeah.
Daytime Emmys this year. It's going to be another virtual scenario.
Yeah.
Totally get it, but it's frustrating because there's nothing like that. I mean, I love doing this type of thing, but there's just nothing like that in-person connection, especially given everything that's going on. And you guys have been tremendous in regards to promoting all the phenomenal talent for this year. Thank you for this, Kevin, because this helped a lot. Jameson, can I just say, I was literally crying with laughter. Literally crying with laughter with some of the stuff that he did on Riley's Unforgettable School Project. But everyone, obviously.
He's hilarious.
He's just, he always has been. But again, there's just something about this particular special that everyone just... It was the perfect pitch. That's it. Everybody performed at the perfect pitch.
Thank you. It was, I think on a certain level, we always know everything. We always know everything that's going on. And I know Allison and I knew in our heart of hearts that this was a race at this time to get this finished before Michael died. Before it became the official race. But I think everybody knew it, but it was a surprise too to have it announced. And I think everybody brought their best game to this, which I think they'll do in season 3 too. I don't doubt that, but I just think there was something else kind of leading, I like to say, leading us to this finish line. When we're promoting the show, or when we're talking about the show, or when we're making decisions about final edits, and Michael wasn't there or isn't there now, is when I'm gripped with extreme sadness and grief. And it's something you can't navigate. And, it's the very conversation Michael and I sat down to have the very first day we met about everybody's going to deal with loss. It just may not be on your schedule. So
it never is, right?
It never is. Life intrudes, and you just hold it as dearly as you can. And I know when Allison was going through it with her mom, it's just, you sidestep stuff, and there's still, life still is going on and spinning over here. Other plates are happening, and you just go, okay, I'll get to it. But it's a sneaky thing, and there's no rule book that says how you're supposed to deal with it. So I know I'm grateful for the universal crossing point that brought Michael and I together, and how it opened us up to all being together. It's our crossing point is this interview. That's what we get out of that, and it's a beautiful thing.
The performances, again, were so stellar, but I have to say, because I'm going to fangirl out in regards to Anita Gillette. And the gentleman who plays the father, Jason's father.
Lenny Wolpe.
Just the portrayal of parents, the power.
Yeah.
It was really... I kind of looked at you, Kevin, and Michael as parents of After Forever, the series. And so to me, the loss of Michael is kind of like a loss of a parent.
Yeah.
So the performances by Anita and, I'm sorry, what's the other?
Lenny.
Just really took on a whole different magnitude. And really was a beautiful, cohesive glue that kept everything together. So I want to just applaud them.
Wow.
In particular.
They are phenomenal. I mean, Anita's great. Katie, of course. We had a new cast member too. Allison. Elma. She played Janet.
Alma.
I was thinking Janet. Yeah, but she played, and she was a friend of mine. We wanted to bring something new forward. And even in this little unknown character that we would have never known about if we never talked about a flashback in Jason's office, so to speak, she delivered this lovely, heartfelt 5 or 6 moments. Same with Christopher J. Hankey, who plays the writer, Stefan. And he did not have a lot, but I am compelled to watch him every moment when he's on screen. And
I loved his work. Like you said, he didn't have a huge part, but every time he was in it, there was just something really, really nuancy and lovely about his performances. Yeah.
We also gave Allison the hardest task because he was in Toronto. Vancouver, excuse me. And we had to get
Vancouver.
Right.
Yeah.
Good Jameson.
All in a day's work.
All in a day's work for our multi-talented producer director. But Lenny's great, and oh my God, David Dean Bottrell and Aaron Cherry. We found
Robert.
a way to kind of fun way to bring her in.
I mean, and everybody was so dedicated to this. I mean, we asked the actors, we did virtual location scouts of multiple places sometimes. We did wardrobe fittings over Zoom. We did some lighting and some sound and some camera, angles and stuff. Just, they had their hands full. And then they had to give wonderful performances, which they did. So they are rock stars.
Yeah, there was a greater deal of commitment and creativity that was called forth at this level. Would I do it again? Sure, but it's really, let's not have a pandemic to force us into something.
Right. Well, this time has really allowed creatives to dig deep and still be creative, because that's just a part of who we are. Regardless of what's happening, that creative outlet and expression, whatever that story is that we want to get out there, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll figure it out.
And I feel like, I mean, everybody involved in this needed it. You know, we all needed it in some way. We needed to feel the connection to people. We needed to feel creative. We needed to, you know, I think everybody, you know, Jameson says, like, it was like, you know, the best 2 or 3 hours of the year because he actually got to work and do what he loves to do, right? And it wasn't very long, but it was so meaningful to all of us to have something like that. So, yeah, thank you to Michael and Kevin for giving us the opportunity.
Well, and just so Jameson was happy because he got 2 hours to drink free wine, but
right.
No, I thank you, Allison. It was needed, and I actually have to say, I think about how fortunate we were to be able to springboard this little idea, get it done within 4 months. 4 months from beginning to end. That was 4 months, and it wasn't planned that way. But we wanted to keep moving, and we also had to navigate through how Michael was feeling at any given time, because to get it jump started, it took a minute. But I just have to acknowledge and salute all of those who got the opportunity, not just in our show, but in this time frame, to actually get their feet wet and continue creating their projects or continue to be creative in some way. So many people were shut down and had no way to do it. And I'm not just talking about Broadway, but there were people who I know who had music acts ready to go. They were booked on tours. They were just done. Couldn't even do it online. So I realize how blessed we were to be able to do that. And yeah, it's nice to get acknowledged. It's nice to be seen. Do we want more accolades? Sure. But I tell this to Allison all the time. My heart to do a remote interview like this is just to make sure that the people pay attention to this show, pay attention to what we did, how Michael was able to do this, and get the creative word out there that it's possible and that there's still love and there's still hope, and love is the only thing that is remembered. It never dies. And that's what we're going to have to hold on to. So
An enormous beauty.
Yeah.
Enormous beauty. To that point, where can people find y'all and the
Go
show?
ahead. Tell us, Allison. You do it all. Good.
Yeah, no, this show, you know, After Forever seasons 1 and 2 and Riley's Unforgettable School Project are on Amazon. If you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it, or if you don't, you can rent it or purchase it on Amazon. So check it out. And you know, the show and all of us are on all social medias. You know, find us on Instagram. We're doing some Instagram lives, and find us on Facebook. And, you know, we're always keeping people posted on what we're doing.
Kevin, where can people find you?
I'm After Forever, the series on Facebook. I'm Kevin Spirtas on Facebook. I'm Kevin Spirtas fan page on Facebook. I'm always making fried pickles with Allison Vanore and her husband, Rob, on Facebook. I'm out there. Just Google the Kevin Spirtas.
Allison, are you on the socials?
Oh, yeah. You can find me. I mean, if you Google me or find me, it's Allison, Allicine, everywhere. Instagram, Twitter. I'm usually hanging out on Twitter a lot. And I'm on Facebook when I have to be.
She babysits me on Facebook because I'm the old man here. How do you get this?
Allison, are we going to be treated with some more directorial work from you?
I hope so. I certainly hope so. You know, I've been writing a lot. I've always written, but I've never written really with the idea to move towards something in that way. But you know, Kevin's working with me on a project as well. I've got a lot of, I think, stories that I'd like to tell through television. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I've clearly a passion for women in entertainment and promoting women behind the camera. So whatever you want promoted, whenever you want it promoted.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah. Always. You too. Thank you. I mean, it's been an honor to have you here to share the story about Riley's Unforgettable School Project, about After Forever, the series, celebrating Michael Slade, the cast. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Here's to some in-person quality FaceTime sooner than later.
Yeah.
And folks,
yes,
you can find me. Yes, you can find me on the socials on Instagram at Tami.Goveia and on Twitter and Facebook at Tami Goveia. This has been Voices of Daytime. Thank you for joining. Please engage.
I just have to say one thing, Tami. You've always been so absolutely beautiful and supportive of me before After Forever and the whole trajectory of it. So thank you for your support and everyone who's been in your camp, because it's been a ride for all of us. And I've watched you grow and I've watched you, pop and succeed, and you're just fabulous. So thank you.
It's been an honor. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, everyone. Thank you again, and share the story and share the love.
Share the love. Bye.